to our second bonus minisode of the Book Trivia Podcast, where we dig deep to uncover the most interesting factoids dancing in the dust on your bookshelves. I'm Jess, joined by the amazing Rach.
Hello, Jess. How are you?
I'm good. Usually we go all in on one book, but today we're switching things up and serving you 3 classic children's books for a hearty hit of nostalgia, which I know you love, Rachie.
I do love nostalgia, yes.
So grab your favourite teddy, climb aboard the book bus with us as we give you the insider scoop on Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss, The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle, and Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak. But first, let's kick off with a whirlwind round of book trivia, all related to kids' facts. You want to go first or shall I?
I can go first if you want.
Go for it. Yeah.
Jess, which beloved Aussie book from my childhood has a main character named Erica Yerkin?
Oh, yes. Hating Alice and Ashley.
Correct. Yes.
I've forgotten who wrote it.
Robin Klein wrote it. She was
Robin
everywhere.
Klein, yeah.
She was such a good author.
What did you think about the adaptation, though, with Delta?
I've actually never seen it. I know Delta Goodrem is Alice and Ashley, and I've always meant to. It's one of those movies where you're like, I'll get around to seeing that, and then you never do. Is it good?
I did love that book when I was a kid. I can't really remember it, but I'll say yes. I do like Delta, so I'm going to say yes just to be nice to her. But
if we ever do Hating Alice and Ashley for the pod, we'll have to watch the movie. That will force me.
Okay, my question is not Australia, but we are talking countries. What country does Paddington Bear come from?
Oh, okay. So he moves to London, but where does he come from?
Yes.
I think he comes from deepest, darkest Peru. Does he not?
Yes!
Yeah.
You are amazing. I am so amazed that you knew that. So you're absolutely true. Apparently the reason is because the author Michael Bond, originally he wanted him to come from deepest, darkest Africa, but his agent pointed out that there aren't any bears in Africa. So Bond chose Peru as Paddington's origin because it's home to, and this is the best part of it, it's home to the spectacled bear. Like eyeglasses, spectacled. Yeah,
oh, really?
It's a real bear
species
species native to the Andes.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did love Paddington when I was a little girl, though. Okay, my second question for you, Jess. Name the alphabetical picture book which came out in 1986 and was written and illustrated by a British Aussie Melbourneian called Graham Bass.
Oh, Animalia?
Yep.
I had a prized edition of Animalia when I was a kid. I loved reading through. Well, can you read through them? So for people who are not familiar with it, it's a picture book, and in each page, it's a letter of the alphabet, A for alligator, whatever. And so all the pictures in each page start with that letter, and then to top it off, there is in each page a picture of, I guess it's Graham. It's a little boy in a striped top. And
you've got to find him on each page.
Yeah. Actually, is it the Where's Wally? Did Where's Wally steal it off Graham Bass?
No, I think Where's Wally might be older. But Graham Bass did a second book like that where you had to find little mice on every page. I love that one too.
Yes, I had that one too. I forget what that one was called though. What was the second one called?
Was it like Who Ate All the Cake or something?
I don't know, but I loved it.
Like you had to solve the mystery.
The little
and
mice.
I think yeah.
I want to buy them. I actually want to buy them as an adult.
I know, we need to get on eBay and see if we can get copies. So nostalgic for anything from my childhood. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Love it. Okay, and my second question is, which book features a spider who writes messages in her web to save a pig?
Oh, I think that's Charlotte's Web.
You know it. Yeah. So the author E.B. White based the character Charlotte on a real spider he observed in his barn. He even kept her egg sac in a candy box with holes, and when the baby spiders hatched, it inspired the story. Gross that he kept the spiders, but an interesting arc there for why he wrote it.
Well, I thought E.B. White was a lady all this time.
Oh, it could be, I don't know.
No, it
Should I look
sounds like
that up?
he's a man. All right, let's get into our featured book for the episode. So, first up, Green Eggs and Ham. It's got a persistent little character named Sam I Am who won't take no for an answer. And then there's a very hungry caterpillar eating his way through the week. And finally, we've got Max who sails off to meet the wild things and leads a rumpus like no other. So, not sure if anyone hasn't read these three or if we actually need a spoiler warning. But yeah, we're going to be discussing those three books. And I've basically just told you the plot of all of them anyway. So there you go.
Well, you don't have to turn off yet because we'll do a couple of facts about kids' books. My one I'm going to start us off with is actually about Goodnight Moon. Do you know this book, Rach?
I've heard of it, but I don't really know it. No.
Yeah. Even if you've never read it, you'd know the cover. It's got a bright green room and it's looking out of a window with a blue sky with a moon on it. Like, it's iconic. You would definitely know it.
Yeah.
So this book, it's famous for the fact that it actually totally changed the game for children's books. Before it came out in 1947, all children's books were either about fairy tales or teaching moral lessons. And instead, it focuses on the simple everyday experience of bedtime. The story talks to kids in a soothing kind of way with lots of repetition and calm rhythms. So it says, good night room, good night moon, good night cow jumping over the moon, like that.
Right.
And it's really, it is actually really soothing. It's hard to believe it now, but back then that down-to-earth style was actually really very radical. And it helped to shift kids' books towards stories that really connect with how little ones see and feel about their own world instead of just adults telling kids stories. And here's the even crazier thing. This is why I wanted to say this fact. Did you know, Rach, that Goodnight Moon was actually blacklisted from New York's public libraries for 25 years after it was published?
Why? I did not know that.
I will tell you what. So the story goes that the head children's librarian, her name was Anne Carroll Moore, thought the book was too ordinary and called it overly sentimental. So she used her influence to keep it out of the library's collection. And because libraries were a big gatekeeper for children's literature back then, Moore's personal distaste, because she was the head librarian for the New York Library, kept Goodnight Moon off all shelves and even inspired other libraries to follow suit.
Really?
It wasn't actually until 1972 that the New York Public Library finally put Goodnight Moon on its shelves, like decades after its initial publication. And Rach, do you know how I know all of this?
Google?
No. You know how we love podcasts? Have you ever listened to a little old podcast called 99% Invisible?
Oh, yes. Occasionally, yes.
Yes.
That's a good podcast.
They have an episode that is entirely dedicated to this story, and it is a wild ride, I tell you. So I highly recommend, if you want to learn more about it, to find that 99% Invisible podcast.
Yeah, that sounds good. So it was a groundbreaking book, and the head librarian was like, no, not in my library. Yeah. Not in my library. It's a wonder it actually survived. She could have killed it off. She could have really killed it.
She tried her very, very best, but it made its way out there anyway into the world. It is a lovely book. Like, my kids love it. So
it sounds like a good book. Okay, I have a children's book fact. Did you know that you can buy a children's book written by a Spice Girl? Did you know that?
I did not know this. Okay. Do I need to guess which one it is?
You can if you want, or I can just tell you.
No, I'd love to guess.
Okay.
Like, it could be like Posh. Would she though? Is that her personal brand? Maybe not. Scary, loves kids. Sporty, I feel wouldn't. Baby, is that too obvious? I'm gonna chuck out. Oh no, I'm gonna say Ginger. Go on.
It is Ginger. Oh, Ginger Spice. How did you guess? Jerry Halliwell. She's got a series of books based on a character called Eugenia Lavender. I have not read, so I cannot tell you if they're any good or not. But yeah, you can get a Spice Girls children's book. What will they think of next? Anyway, speaking of the books we're looking at today, have you read them? I'm assuming you've read them all. But did you read them all when you were a kid? Or have you found them later on since you've had kids?
Just love them. Well, as you know, Rach, I come from a massive family. So I have 9 other brothers and sisters, and almost all of them have kids, and 2 or 3 or 4 in some cases.
So you know a lot about kids.
Yeah. And Auntie Jessie has been reading these classics to the little ones for decades. I'm very well known for it. And Green Eggs and Ham is a personal favourite. I can easily recite the whole book to you from memory. That's how many times I've read it.
Wow.
As for Where the Wild Things Are, I actually loved that book when I was a kid, and I did a pretty good clay sculpture thingy in high school for one of the wild things in my art class. So that's what I always remember of that book. And then last but not least, Hungry Caterpillar is my dang spirit animal, because I have definitely eaten through 1 piece of chocolate cake, 1 ice cream cone, 1 pickle, 1 slice of Swiss cheese, 1 slice of salami, 1 lollipop, 1 piece of cherry pie, 1 sausage, 1 cupcake, and 1 slice of watermelon. Or at least a mango. And then I've had a very bad stomachache afterwards. What about you, Rach? Tell me what you thought about them.
Well, I don't really have any kids in my life, but I definitely read all of these 3 as a kid. And I was rereading them for this, and I thought there's not one girl amongst these books. But that's a 1980s childhood for you.
I did not even think of that.
Yeah, so I actually have a very vague memory that Green Eggs and Ham was one of the only books in my pediatrician's waiting room. So I think I probably caught quite a few germs from reading that one every time I was in it.
Well thumbed through.
Yeah, I have vague memories of really loving the watermelon page of The Hungry Caterpillar.
Oh, there you go.
I vaguely remember Wild Things, but nothing stands out. I think, but it was definitely kicking around.
Okay, so let's kick it off with Green Eggs and Ham. Probably the most interesting and most well-known fact about Green Eggs and Ham is that Dr. Seuss's editor, Bennett Cerf, I think you pronounce it, bet him $50 that he couldn't write a compelling book using only 50 distinct words. So I think most people are aware of that. Seuss accepted the challenge after previously writing The Cat in the Hat, which had 236 words. But anyway, he was so serious about making sure he could only use these 50 words that he created notes, charts, checklists to track word use during his writing.
Really?
Imagine how much easier it would have been now in 2025 with AI.
Imagine how much easier to just give him $50 and say, you win the bet.
It's the challenge.
He really wanted that $50.
He should. Maybe he was hard up for cash. I don't know.
Maybe. But he did it.
But yeah, he did it. Exactly. But funny, early drafts had more aggressive dialogue, apparently. And he also originally titled it the other way around. So it was Green Eggs, instead of Green Eggs and Ham, it was Green Ham and Eggs. Doesn't
that
have quite
wrong.
the same and maybe he realized eggs doesn't rhyme with as much things as ham.
Yeah,
eggs,
of course.
Legs.
Yes.
In any event, the final text includes exactly 50 unique words, with not being the most frequently used. So 82 times he used not. I would not, could not in a house, nor with a mouse. I would not with a fox or in a box. Ha ha ha.
That's the one you know off by heart.
I know it all.
To get you, maybe instead of the song at the end of the episode, you just recite these. Okay, my fact is, did you know that during World War II, Theodore Seuss Geisel, aka Dr. Seuss, he worked in the animation and film department of the United States Army. So he got in there and used his cartoons for propaganda, I would imagine.
Yeah, all these authors and their World War
II
backgrounds.
service. Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, and my fact is that he completed the book in early 1960, and the first time it was ever read aloud was during a Random House staff event before publication. And I'm sure it comes as no surprise, but this is an extremely popular kids' book. It's ranked number 1 in children's book sales in 1967. And by the year 2000, it had sold over 8 million copies in the United States, becoming the 4th best-selling hardcover children's book of all time.
Wow.
And it also often features in like the major top 100 children's books lists as well.
Okay. Well, I have a slightly more random fact. Did you know that the first book Seuss illustrated was for children? He didn't write it, he just illustrated, and it was called the Pocket Book of Boners.
Boners?
Yeah, boners. So apparently in America, boner is, well, it's slang for what we think it is, but it's also slang for making a bit of a fool of yourself.
Oh, I mean,
like saying the wrong thing or putting your foot in it. I don't think it is anymore, but back then it was. So that he actually illustrated the Pocketbook of Boners, and then it was very popular. So there were 3 more in the series, which were called More Boners, Still More Boners, and Prize Boners. So there you go.
Imagine, I reckon if you owned a copy of that now, it would be probably pretty valuable.
I'd be pretty happy to get that out and show off to people. Here's my Pocketbook of Boners, illustrated by Zeus. So that's my fact.
I love it. Okay, well, that is much better than my final fact for it, but I will let you know anyway. So even though the book has only 50 actual words, they've managed to adapt it to film and TV several times. In 1973, it was part of an animated television special, Dr. Seuss on the Loose. I like that.
Oh, yep.
But then they later called it Green Eggs and Ham and Other Stories. In 2003, Game Boy Advance created a video game for it. And then in 2019, Netflix released an animated series about it as well.
Yeah. So my final fact is about that Netflix animated series.
Okay.
So it stars Adam Devine as Sam I Am. And it stars Michael Douglas as the unnamed character from the book who doesn't want to try the green eggs and ham. And they had to give him a name. So they've called him Guy Am I. There you go. Guy Am I.
Guy Am I.
Guy Am I and Sam I Am.
Okay, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's a good name.
Really good. Okay, let's now move to A Very Hungry Caterpillar, one of my personal faves. It was written by American author Eric Carle and published in 1969. Did you know it was inspired by a story called A Week with Willy the Worm, which featured a bookworm named Willy? Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No.
No. Well, that's right. Our beloved caterpillar that eats his way through all the pages only to turn into a beautiful butterfly was almost a beloved worm. The only reason it didn't happen is because Anne Beneducci, who was Carl's editor, again, I'm not sure about the pronunciation there, advised him that a worm would not make a likable protagonist, and she convinced him to change it to a caterpillar. And thus, a legend was born.
Good call, Anne Beneducci. Yeah. My first fact is, did you know that in 1999, George W. Bush, who at that time was a governor, he was asked to list his favourite books from childhood, and he listed The Very Hungry Caterpillar. And the only problem was he was almost 23 years old when it came out, so the journalist had a field day. I don't know if that was someone just like doing his homework for him and not realising, or if he genuinely learned how to read when he was 22 years old. Who knows? Something's gone wrong there.
That's a really good fact. I'm not going to be able to beat that one with my one. My one is actually around, you know, how it incorporates all the elements of the educational elements for the little ones. So there's counting, there's days of the week, and of course there's lots of food. And the reason it's so iconic for people who haven't actually read it is because the artwork includes interactive holes where the caterpillar actually ate through his food. So it's pretty cool. Like you turn the pages and some of the pages are smaller as well. And then they've got these holes
and
where the
little
caterpillar has
fingers
been.
can get in the hole.
Yeah. Yeah. But it said that the holes in the pages were inspired by Eric Carle's childhood experience because he grew up in Germany and that was the thing in Germany. They had these hole punch books. And he happened to be using a hole punch that reminded him of a worm, going back to that whole worm thing.
Yeah.
And it made him think of Willy the Worm's story. So that's why he was like, okay, well, I'll do this story. And then obviously Anne came in and told him to do it as a caterpillar. But on the same note, there was issues with the initial publishing because of the intricacy of the holes in the design.
Yeah.
So it actually had to be printed in Japan in its first run due to the page hole production costs were cheaper in Japan than in America. So there's my interesting fact there.
Because everything's so standardized in America, they'd be like, what? Different size pages with holes in? No, we can't do that. Yeah, no. And Japan would be like, oh, yeah, we can do that. Did you know, Jess, that this book has remained continuously in publication since its 1969 release, which is over 56 years? And sources frequently state that a copy of The Very Hungry Caterpillar is sold about once every minute, and more recent estimates suggest it's closer to every 30 seconds. And the figure is on its massive sales, which exceed 50 million copies since its publication. 50 million. Yep. Imagine
I believe it.
$1 for every time they sell a book.
Yeah.
You're a 50 millionaire. That's so incredible.
A 50 millionaire. I like that. Not just a millionaire. I'm a 50 millionaire.
Yeah. Oh, multi-millionaire, I suppose.
Yeah. No, I believe that. We've got at least 2 copies floating around, or even 3. Some of them are just hanging off the edges, have been thumbed through so much. And then I would have had them when I was a kid. I've given it as a book to people for their kids' birthdays. So, yeah, I totally believe it.
So you're one of the people that's made him a 50 millionaire.
I'm the one that's giving him the 50 millionaire.
Yep.
Okay, speaking of which, because it's so popular, we do need to talk about all the different TV and film adaptations, as well as the merch fest that is The Hungry Caterpillar, because it's not just the books, it's the merchandise as well. So some popular adaptations in terms of the film adaptations. So a UK television adaptation was produced in 1993 and released on VHS and DVD. In several times. Then Disney released a US dubbed version of the same TV show in 1995, and then the film or TV rights sold for £1 million thereafter. This is a little gold mine, this little caterpillar.
Yeah.
In fact, a little closer to home, 10 years ago in 2015, I can't believe that was 10 years ago. The Sydney Festival premiered the very first live Hungry Caterpillar stage show adaptation, which went on to tour globally. So
really?
we started Hungry Caterpillar on stage here in Sydney.
Can't believe there wasn't a stage show before 10 years ago. You would have thought that.
Yeah, but also I don't know how it would work.
I can imagine it in my head. Yeah.
But yes, as I also mentioned, alongside the adaptations, there have been several special book editions. There's games, there's pop-ups, educational video games released. And I think I even had an actual little caterpillar toy that came boxed up with one of our versions of the book. So lots of merch out there.
Yeah, right. Well, my final fact is, did you know that in the book the caterpillar hatches and then eats Monday to Sunday and then cocoons? But in actual fact, most caterpillars are creeping around from 2 weeks to a few months before they cocoon. So the book isn't very accurate.
So inaccurate. Chuck it out. I can't believe this. It's been selling a lie this whole time. Poor W. Bush. Okay, and then our last book on the list, we're going to talk a little bit about Where the Wild Things Are. So this is a landmark 1963 children's picture book by Maurice Sendak, and it's always been celebrated for its emotional depth, It's got very distinctive monster imagery and a wide-ranging cultural impact as well. So I'll start off with a few facts about Sendak. He began as an illustrator and then he moved into both writing and illustrating his own books in the 1950s. Where the Wild Things Are followed his first solo book, Kenny's Window, in 1956. But yeah, it's such a popular book. It's won tons of awards and it's on plenty of bestseller lists. Maybe not quite the money maker as
Caterpillar and Green Eggs and Ham. It'll be up there.
But yeah, for example, in 1964, Sendak won the Caldecott Medal for Where the Wild Things Are as the previous year's most distinguished American picture book. In 2012, School Library Journal survey voted it as the number one picture book. The National Education Association listed it among teachers' top 100 books for children based on a 2007 poll. In fact, as of 2009, the book has sold over 19 million copies worldwide, not as many as the others. And about 10 million of those alone were sold in the United States. So the US loves this book.
Yeah. And he'd be a 19 millionaire if he got a dollar.
Not a 50 millionaire, but a
19 millionaire. All right. Well, my fact is, did you know that Sendak received fan mail from a child with a drawing on it? And so Sendak replied with a drawing of a wild thing for the fan. And then he later received a letter from the child's mother which said that the young fan liked the drawing Sendak had sent him so much that he ate it. Sendak thought that was one of the highest compliments he'd ever been paid, that his drawing was so cool that the little kid ate it. So that's it's a funny little fact.
How old was the kid?
18? No, I don't know.
23. It was George W. Bush.
I'm thinking he must have been primary school or younger, because any older you'd be like, this is an original Morris Sendak.
I'm going to keep this.
I'd say he was a pretty little child to do that, eating it. It's funny that the mum wrote and let him know, because otherwise
I think she probably was angling for another one, do you reckon? She probably wanted him to replace it.
Yeah, maybe.
And he's like gone, oh, that's just funny, but he hasn't got anything about it.
Yeah, he's just laughed and gone, what a compliment.
Because the mum's thinking about the value of the...
Yes, of course. The mum's like, where did that drawing go, babe? And he's like, yum, yum, yum.
Oh, I ate it. All right, let's go to my fact. Again, not as funny as yours. Did you know, Rach, Sendak actually originally conceived the story that Max goes to a land of wild horses, but he changed the horses to wild things because he felt he wasn't going to be able to draw horses convincingly. That's pretty interesting.
Horses are very hard to draw.
Yeah, I guess with monsters also, like, no one knows what a monster looks like, so you're not going to be wrong about it, but you've got to be a bit more accurate with wild horses.
Yeah.
But yes, also the term wild things was inspired by the Yiddish phrase wilde Chaya. Again, I'm so bad with pronunciation. Wilde Chaya, which is used for boisterous children. They say boisterous children. In fact, because Maurice Sendak is himself of Polish Jewish descent, he used his heritage and experiences for many themes in the book. For example, the monsters are caricatures of his Polish Jewish aunts and uncles, whose intense visits as a child he experienced as grotesque, with wild eyes and big yellow teeth. Poor aunties and uncles.
I remember being that age and not liking adults, like strange adults.
But he actually, even later, gave the wild things his relatives' names. Zippy, Moisha, Aaron, Emil, and Bernard were all named in the 1983 opera adaptation.
And they're his aunts and uncles' names.
Yeah. Is that a nice thing or a mean thing?
I'm thinking it's a bit on the edge, isn't it?
It is a bit. I do love the name Zippy, though.
They were probably all dead by the 1980s.
Oh, right.
My next fact is that Morris Sendak, illustrator and author, wrote many other books. Did you know that? One was called...
I wouldn't be able to say any of them.
No, I think most people only know him for Where the Wild Things Are, but he did write other books, and one was called in the Night Kitchen, and this one was listed number 21 on the 100 most frequently challenged books from 1990 to 1999 due to how frequently it was challenged or censored. Isn't that funny? It's because it has
why? Why would it be?
Because the boy in it is in the nude in some of the drawings. It's a drawing of a naked little boy.
Is he even in the nude? I can only remember him in the onesie.
This is in the Night Kitchen, not in Where the Wild Things Are. Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
The boy in the Night Kitchen is in the nude sometimes.
That's why he's got him in a onesie in Where the Wild Things Are.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Unless they were done the other way around. But you wouldn't have thought someone that's so beloved would ever have a challenged book.
Yeah.
Apparently those censors can't get enough of censoring things. Strange.
And just like our other books, Where the Wild Things Are has inspired many adaptations. So I've got a couple of examples for you. In 1973, there was an animated short film adaptation directed and animated by Jean Deutsch in Prague. This is going to be fun trying to pronounce these names. Between 1980 and 1984, there was a children's opera adaptation. That's the one I was talking about with the the
aunts and uncles. Yeah, Zippy.
Yeah, Zippy. It was first performed but incompletely in Brussels. I don't know what was incomplete about it in 1980, and then fully staged in London in 1984. And then in 1981, the New England Dinosaur Dance Company choreographed a dance piece that premiered in Boston. It's very strange things. In the early 1980s, Disney's Glenn Keane and John Lasseter used the book's imagery in early CGI tests, which I thought was pretty cool. And then in 2009, there was a live-action feature film that was directed by Spike Jonze and co-produced by Sendak, and it starred Max Records and featured an ensemble voice cast. I've watched that one.
I think I've seen clips of that too. I had a bit of trivia about that movie that I left out.
Oh, do you remember it or?
Spike Jonze, the director, wanted lifelike costumes, but he wanted the faces to be animatronic. So someone spent ages building these animatronic heads that could pull on these facial expressions for the monsters. And then when the actors went to put them on, they were so heavy they couldn't walk around. So they had to do something else. They had to improvise.
I wonder what happened to the heads.
Yeah, all that work.
They're just in someone's garage somewhere.
Probably somewhere in Los Angeles. Did you know that another book of Maurice Sendak was used so heavily as inspiration for one of my favourite childhood movies that Sendak's lawyers actually sent a legal complaint to halt the production of the film? You have to guess what film it is. It's a movie I loved as a child. 1980s
Is it
movie.
like an animated? Or is it?
No, it's got a real-life pop star, a real-life girl, and then lots of Muppety creatures in a Jim Henson-y Muppet.
No, so I was going with life size, like the Tyra Banks one, because you said the real life, she's a model, not a pop star.
I'll give you a clue. David Bowie's in it.
Oh, Labyrinth?
Yeah, so it was inspired so heavily by a Maurice Sendak book that they sent this letter to halt production, but the matter was settled out of court, and the film's final credits.
So he's taken a cut.
Yeah, the film's final credit states Jim Henson acknowledges his debts to the work of Maurice Sendak. So yeah,
wow.
Now
I want to watch that again.
You need to get the book because it's called Outside of There, and the actual book was inspired when Maurice Sendak was a really, really little kid. The Lindbergh baby was kidnapped, and he remembered seeing it on headlines. And he remembers seeing a photo in the newspaper front page when he was 3 or 4, and it really affected his psyche. And then he wrote this book, and then Jim Henson basically ripped it off for Labyrinth. The sister has to go and rescue the baby from the goblins is the story of his book. So there's some trivia for you, book trivia.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's time for silly questions. Jess, would you rather go to bed without any supper, or would you rather eat 1 green egg, 1 green ham, 1 piece of chocolate cake, 1 ice cream cone, 1 pickle, 1 slice of Swiss cheese, 1 slice of salami, 1 lollipop, 1 piece of cherry pie, 1 sausage, 1 cupcake, and 1 slice of watermelon.
You can tell we don't compare notes. Yeah, I'm going for the last one. I'll eat all of that. Give it to me. I don't love watermelon, as I've already alluded to, but I'll do it.
You're going to eat green ham? Good luck with that.
Yeah, I'll eat green ham.
Ugh.
Sam I am is onto something. I would eat it in the house. I would eat it with a mouse. I would eat it anywhere. I do so like green eggs and ham. I do so like them, Sam I am.
Okay. Well, now we know. I think I'd rather go to bed without any supper.
Just because of the green eggs and ham.
Well, ham that's turned green, it's like you found it in the bottom of the fridge 6 weeks after it's been put in there.
It could have just been dyed green.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case.
Or I was imagining it like it could be seasoned with a lovely herb of some description that's green.
Oh, pesto ham. Okay, next silly question. Would you rather be limited to using only 50 words for the rest of your life, or would you rather have to dissolve into liquid goo inside a chrysalis for 2 weeks where much of your body is liquefied except for certain vital structures and cells such as the tracheal tubes for breathing, and then survive to one day completely restructure yourself into a butterfly?
It's got to be butterfly.
Really?
Yeah, because you get to flap out of there. You're a beautiful butterfly and you're flying. What are you going to say that you're choosing the 50 words?
So you're happy to dissolve into goo for a few weeks inside a chrysalis?
Oh, I'm just going to have some nice peaceful thinking time while I'm gooing it out. No worries. That sounds very, calm.
So gooey.
I'm going to just be in my mind.
Yeah, actually, I'm with you. I'll turn into goo too. I need more than 50 words. Let's wrap it up with a final round of true or false. Jess, I'm going to start us off. So, true or false? On Wednesday, the caterpillar ate 4 strawberries.
Oh, I should know this after just telling you I've read it a billion times. Like pear, strawberries. There's plums are definitely the 4. 3 strawberries. Yep, I'm going to say true.
No, Thursday is strawberries. Thursday is 4. Wednesday is 3 plums. So
I got that completely wrong. Oh my God.
4 strawberries is Thursday for the 4th day of the week.
Not doing too well with the bonus questions. All right, my one for you, I'm gonna I've got of my 3 true or false, I've got one for the hungry caterpillar, one for the green eggs and ham, and one for the for where the wild things are. So I'll start off with the where the wild things are. Is it true or false in 2006 that the US Postal Service issued a stamp featuring where the wild things are? In 2006, true or false?
It's 50-50. True. Why not?
Yeah, true. It is true. Yeah, it was part of a favorite children's book animals stamp series.
That would have been a series for stamp collectors. Okay, my true or false is just children's books generally. So true or false? One of the most popular picture books of 2002 was written by an Aussie. And I mean worldwide popularity. And I can give you a clue if you want.
No, let me think about it. 2002. It's not that, like, what are the ones that Aussie, would it have been like Andy Lee's one that he does that, not at the end of the book? No. Give me a clue.
It's about a wombat.
It's about a wombat. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to say true.
It is true. It's Jackie French's Diary of a Wombat.
Oh, I've got that one. Yep.
And apparently that's popular worldwide in the same way. Isn't it?
I don't like reading it as a parent. I just don't think it's that great. It's got heaps of sequels too.
Oh, right.
Sorry,
apparently it's done really well. But
it's really good drawing, and it's just basically this wombat that leaves the house and digs a big hole.
So she doesn't do the drawing. She always works with the same illustrator.
Right.
I've forgotten his name. But you know that Andy Lee book you mentioned? I had that book when I was a kid, except it was a Sesame Street book with Grover, and it was like there's a monster at the end of this book.
Monster at the end of this book,
Then at the end of the book, it's Grover. Is Andy Lee allowed to just like rip off the Sesame Street Grover book?
Well, he's making mozza out of it. It's been turned into an ABC series as well.
Really? Did he get permission, or is it just everyone's pretending that he...
No idea.
I bet you any money.
I'll call him up, you know, he's friend of the pod. I'm sure he'll tell me.
Parasocial friend of the pod.
All right, let me go to my next true or false. This one is about green eggs and ham. So true or false, this year, 2025, they released a graphic novel called Green Eggs and Ham, Take a Hike.
Oh, I'm going to say false. I don't know why.
It is true.
It was true.
It was illustrated and adapted by James Kachalka, and he named the unnamed character who refuses to try the green eggs and ham, not Guy I am.
Guy am I.
Oh, Guy am I. He called him Walter. I think Walter? I like Guy am I. Yeah.
I think Guy am I is way better.
Yeah, way better.
Okay. My last true or false, in the children's book, the BFG, Sophie the little girl meets the King of England.
I love the BFG. I love Roald Dahl. Did she meet the King of England? I'm going to say true.
False. She meets the Queen of England.
Of course. Man, I'm really, I'm tiring here. I'm tiring. Too many facts in my brain. It doesn't hold that much. All right, my last true or false is the Very Hungry Caterpillar one.
I love tricking you with these questions, by the way.
Okay. I feel very dumb. You always trick me with these things.
I'll stop doing trick questions one day.
I know, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just known as the silly dumb one with the accents. You're known as the very genius one with all the Greek facts, which I hope you're going to be able to get one in the last moment here.
No, I don't. I don't have any Greek facts today.
Quick.
Unfortunately.
Anyway, true or false, in the original draft of The Very Hungry Caterpillar, when he emerges from the cocoon, he was originally supposed to turn into a moth. Eric Carle insisted on it because he had a fascination with moths and he thought it worked better with the story.
No, that can't. I'm going to say false. It's got to be a butterfly.
It's false.
Yeah, it's got to be a butterfly. Why would you have a fascination with moths? Nobody. Well, someone does.
What about E.B. White having the box of spider eggs? These people are crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, let's wrap it up. I've got one final very random kids' book fact that I will give you.
Yeah.
So Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. You've read Alice's Adventures, or you've seen the movie.
I think I have.
Did you know Alice's Adventures in Wonderland was actually banned in the Chinese province of Hunan in 1931?
No. Why?
They love banning children's books, don't they? It doesn't matter what country. Everyone loves to ban. But yes, this is a true fact. It was banned because of the animals using human language. The governor of Hunan, General Ho Chien, banned the book because he believed it was inappropriate to portray animals and humans on the same level.
Okay, I'm not sure why generals in the army are concerning themselves with what's going on in children's books.
Yeah, and that he felt so strongly about it.
It sounds like the Goodnight Moon lady. Just let the book go in the library.
Just chill.
Just let the Hunanians read Alice.
The Hunanians?
Hunanians? I don't know.
What's your random final fact?
Okay, so it's a question. Do you want a question, or should I just tell you?
Oh, God, yeah.
Which beloved Aussie children's author is now married to Kylie Mole from the Comedy Company, which is a TV show from Australia from the 1990s? So I'll tell you, Marianne Fahey was in the Comedy Company in the late 80s, early 90s, and she played Kylie Mole, who you will remember she loved Dino, hated Amanda. Amanda sucks. She goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, chewing gum. So in real life at that time, she was married to Ian McFadgen, who was also in the Comedy Company with her. But then they divorced and she partnered up with well-known children's author Morris Gleitzman, right?
Yes.
But Morris Gleitzman is known for collaborating quite a few times with Paul Jennings. At some point, Marianne and Morris broke up, and a couple of years later, she's married to Paul Jennings.
That's wild.
Kylie Mole is married to the guy who wrote Skeleton on the Dunny.
Yes.
Wow,
he did Round the Twist too, didn't he?
Yep.
Or am I just making that? Yeah.
All around the twist
Strange
stories.
things happen when you're going around.
Would you say that that's uncanny? Have you ever felt like this? We've gone crazy. Wrap it up. Let's go.
Wrap it up before we do any more singing ever again. Oh, okay. Listen. Thank you, everyone, for listening to our special bonus episode of the Book Trivia Podcast dedicated to our favourite children's books. We hope you enjoyed this nostalgic dive into some of the stories that shaped our childhoods. And it is actually the final episode of Season 1 of the Book Trivia Podcast. So please stay tuned for Season 2, where we will give you even more fun trivia, fun facts, deep dives into the books you love. Until next time, keep reading and keep wondering.
Thank you for listening. And if you like this episode, please like and subscribe. And only if you liked it, rate and review our podcast on whichever podcasting app you use. Or better still, tell a friend to listen. For more book trivia, find us at booktriviapodcast.com. And you can also follow us on Reddit and Substack, where we are Book Trivia Podcast. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome to the Book Trivia Podcast, where we give you books